Carlisle 1964 here. Another racecourse. This time I'm going to train to Carlisle, but unlike say going to Cartmel, Hamilton and Ayr, this time I'm actually going to Carlisle Racecourse. It's effectively an evening meeting, trains about 2:40. I plan to have a pint of maybe two in a couple of pubs in Carlisle first, in the racecourse. I'm not sure about that until much. I'm a bit knackered, I think. I'm not just going to be out of shape, but also went to some weight training yesterday in the gym, and I feel a bit tired from that. So, and it's about 40 odd minutes uphill walk to Carlisle's from Carlisle to Racecourse. So I want to make a decision how long it's going to take me to whether I have enough time for 2 pints and getting there, because it might take a bit longer. It's also going to rain quite heavily. The bizarre situation is if we're going, it's good to firm in places, and Carlisle have been watering. It's been really heavy rain. So God, I'm saying over the afternoon, I say it's an evening fixture. So God knows what the ground's going to be like. In fact, I looked at the weather forecast a couple of times just to see what the ground would be. I know it's slightly wrong because I thought it wouldn't be quite as quick before the rain came, so it might end up as good to soft overall to the end by the time of the meeting. And at some point, I actually said yesterday it was actually going to be thunderstorms during the middle of the meeting. I looked again today, and it's not quite that bad. It's going to be heavy rain. It's a bit of a pain because used to be on normal circumstances, a racecourse bus from in Carlisle to the race station to racecourse and back again. Although that's not quite so bad. It's completely downhill going back. It's not quite so bad. But obviously, I'm certainly that's not taking place. Just double check, just in case. There's a couple of pubs in Carlisle. One maybe in both. But I was actually noticing. I just looking at Carlisle's website, Facebook page. I didn't know there was going to be some pony racing, and I might have actually turned up to that a couple before the race. The thing starts, proper racing starts, just to support. You might get some young kids there just to support the future, perhaps the jockeys of the future, things like that. Unfortunately, they both end 15 minutes before the first race. 50, not 15. With 15, I wouldn't have minded. But I'm not hanging around Carlisle Racecourse for 50 minutes for no reason, frankly. So I'm afraid I'll give that a miss. I've got another evening meeting in Ripon on Monday. I did say in a previous video, nearly I was going to go to Hamilton on Tuesday, which is just gone, and only the trains to Carlisle a little more expensive than I like. I could have got, I think it's only 2 weeks in advance to do that. You can get a £3 each way. It's what I've done here. So there's only £3 from Newcastle to Carlisle and back again. Unfortunately, I just missed that. And in a way, fortunately, I did a terrible situation you may know about, where 2 lads fell out of the cherry picker, were covering racing and got injured, and they were, I think, charged with pictures or something, and we got landed on a roof and got seriously injured. And the meeting was actually abandoned before racing even took place. So it was a horrible situation. And thankfully, a few days later, they're going to make a full recovery. Now, what that means, I'm not quite sure. But obviously, it's not life-threatening. Whether any of them broken any bones, I don't know. But thankfully, they're both going to be okay. Next 2 weeks after that are Ascot on the 23rd. And that's before that, Newby on the 17th. Or both in July, obviously. I had only intended to do Newby, and I changed Ascot. I decided I wasn't going to do because I thought the train's a little more expensive. I thought I'd get really cheap, relatively cheap tickets, and I changed my mind. But as I said a few times, I thought I had only 2 group of graded races left to do, which would be 17th Hackworth Stakes at Newby and the new Libertine Mares Chase at Cheltenham Festival. Not realising, even though I had gone through the pattern I listed races were flat for this year, but actually the Valiant Stakes Ascot is now Group 3, and so I now had to do a little more than I liked. But so I'm now still off to Ascot as well on the 23rd. Possibility, Hexham trying to get to at some point, not a chance yet. Doing other things and also other meetings. When Hexham's been on. Musselburgh Market Ways and Perth possibilities. It's just the trains are more expensive than normally, especially to Market Ways and Musselburgh. Usually get quite cheap train tickets. With COVID, apart from anything else, it's becoming more difficult. At the racecourse now, it's weather's a bit iffy. It's not as something rain heavily just now, and it's sort of hovering around whether it's raining or not really. I was walked uphill, and the problem actually wasn't, in fact, the rain. In fact, it was so humid. I was also very uphill. I said it wasn't. Well, I ended up having 1 pint in one of the tubes. I was going to go. We look for Fat Gadget. I remember I was going to go for a pint in the King's Inn. King's Head Inn. Fat Gadget, for some reason, I don't know why it wasn't open. So I just went to King's Head Inn, got a pint. of Keswick beer. I don't quite, nice no pint, I don't quite know what it was. It wasn't a dark beer anyway, that's all I would, an IPA I think, but that's all I can tell you about it. It was nice a pint. And I thought, I'll check, on Google Maps how long it is to a racecourse. Thought you maybe 45 minutes. And it's actually 55 at Southern Google Maps. So, I think I could possibly push in a second pint, but this may not be a good plan. It's also very uphill to a racecourse. I think I'll just have one, so I did. And it didn't go flat out to the racecourse hill, but it's really, I think it's 2 ways up mainly, and one is, I think, less time uphill, so to speak, but it's steeper. This I think is more time walking uphill but less steep. I'm not sure exactly. So everyone got racecourse bus going back, the other going uphill or down. I've spent more uphill. I've 2 times walked back downhill, but only once walked to Carlisle before. I've been to 7 or 8 times to Carlisle before, racecourse, I think it's 7 maybe. And yeah, and I certainly only walked uphill once. I walked it back down a few times. Yes. So it's quite more busy than I thought it might be, because of course the England game's taking place. They've got the one about soon. It'll be the Czech Republic Denmark quarter-final of the England games after that. So for the evening meeting, I'll get back to Newcastle in my house basically just after 12, unless something goes wrong with the train. I missed the last metro. But after that metro, it would have to be a very late train. We're about 40 minutes late really to miss the metro. And I was up quite late today, so I think I won't be knackered really when I get back in at 12. So actually what I might well do is try and watch the 2 games in full, the Czech Republic game and Denmark game. I'll have to watch that first. I want to watch it because I want to watch the England game. We'll probably go and sit down and then that first, of course I save result of the Czech Republic Denmark game. So I'll watch both games and probably in full. Hopefully not too much extra time or penalties. So the first game anyway. Well, if the England game, I want England to win clearly. It's not busy than I thought. A lot of people in the English shirts here, well, Racecourse isn't showing the game. They made that clear, not showing any football. Maybe people don't know that, I don't know. Or people might disappear off even after a few races, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a lot of people here, and I lost slightly is why you're in an English shirt would you come to a race meeting if they're not showing the football. There's a lot of them in English shirts, so I'm thinking, well, either you're doing one or the other really here. I think it's a bit strange. But anyway, let's see what happens. Maybe I'll change my mind to show the game. I don't know. Our car's in the right track. Dual Nash Hunt on the flat here. Flat meeting today. Look, of course, here just behind me is the is it about the races or Racing UK box there with. I noticed a minute ago. He's not there now. I think Mark Howard here was there. Publisher of racing books, and I've seen a couple of preview meetings. I recognise him because he's been at a couple of Cheltenham preview meetings, often knows his stuff there. I think he's also just quite a bit. I see him on videos as well. I think he works partly in horse racing as well, and a sort of an expert at the field. But he was there a minute ago, now isn't. So anyway, that's in that box. Oh, there are any jockeys coming along to a chat actually. Only does that for a few seconds. I don't want to look like I'm filming with a poor person. She's a apprentice handicap in first race, a back winner actually, but not a high price. And she was only about 9 to 4. That's the price. I don't like those multiple bets. It's a single bet's a short odds, so I tend to, if it's like literally 21 plus, I'll have a bet. I also just put it into a multiple bet. So at least she won the first race. Obviously I'm going to chat the expert, let's call them experts, the professionals on the TV here. So yeah, it's a nice view out of Carlisle. One race was quite some way out of Carlisle. I say 55-minute walk from a pub, and that wasn't too far from the station. I was here for Carlisle's only current listed race, which is actually over fences at Colin Parker Memorial into a graduation chase. It is for second season chasers, and it was supposed to be a day of a race, and kind of with 3 runners. I always get horse wrong. And Bristol Mile was there, wrong with that. I always get the horse wrong. She sometime. I always mix 2 horses up with a similar name. She sometime. One was a chaser of the early 2000s. Always. So I say she sometimes see at midnight. I wasn't 2. I think mixed up as one of them. And then more. That was no run on the other day, there's 2 winner race where actually that horse, the one I can't give a name right, actually turned Bristol of the Mine. Well, they're surprisingly over. Bristol of the Mine, since then, has gone to much better things than that horse has, frankly. But on the day, Bristol of the Mine wasn't quite good enough. Cars of Carlisle Bell, and I remember it's the oldest sporting trophy in the world, always racing, well, world in Britain maybe. I always think it's a Hamilton race, a Lanark Bell, I always which one has one record, one has another record, and I have to look up, maybe put on video which one's which. You like Bell now won at Hamilton, and there used to be, of course, one at Lanark. Two of that race was closed in the 70s. And I mentioned that in an earlier video about was some controversy, which I'll try and have to look up. I'm a mob hand on my videos. I've got like 7 I need to put up since I haven't done Sandown yet. Which is the 12th of 7th of June, I haven't done that one yet. Sandown, Windsor, Newcastle, Thirsk, and 1 or 2 on this one, and I think at least one other. There's not when they're doing it. So I was saying it's a football today, both for final 2 quarterfinals, and we've got the semi-finals and final later on. So the next meeting I have is, I've said this a few times now, Windsor, Whippen evening meeting. That's a lot more difficult to get back from actually in Carlisle. It's not direct. You have to get a bus from Whippen to Leeds rather than Harrogate, because the last train Harrogate's too early basically, and I have to move after 5th or 7th races rather than go to Leeds and see all of them. But it means I only get to Newcastle train station about 1:45. Bizarre situation. I was mentioning over my Whippen video. I couldn't make a mind up what time the meeting was. They said originally it was 6 o'clock, and they're just kind of just going through meetings and we're wasting post and for future meetings he wanted to go to, and I thought, hang on, we're supposed to say 6:30, and I checked with them on Facebook, and they say no, it's 6 o'clock. And when I look again, I mean, everywhere else is saying 6:30, including the BHA. And when I thought we replied to that saying still it was 6 o'clock, and I actually found out later misread that and now to do it 6:30. Well, where was that until a few days ago? Still said 6 o'clock, and then a couple of days back, and then doing my day at someone who refreshed the sub page at some point, it then says 6:30, but really should know when your meeting is. I mean, it's a bit of a poor show, I have to say. They did it wrong. It's better than the other way around. Certainly, you see, claim a meeting starts half an hour later when it does. I mean, that's a disaster for people. You know, finding race meeting actually started. That really wouldn't be good at all. But anyway, number 5 is shitting on the parade ring, I think it looks like. So anyway, I'll get on, and I think it's a maiden race. Well, it's a novice race, but I think all by 1 horse are the maidens. So I'll go off and see what's happening. Before I forget, Carlisle did actually insist on ID. I've been mentioning a number of times in videos about issue about photo ID. I did bring a passport with me just in case. I knew they said they need ID, and it wasn't clear whether it's photo ID or not. And I don't know if it was. I only saw a couple of people hand it, show stuff, and that was a photo ID. And I think a driving license. Now the question is whether normal ID card would be enough. Because it didn't say photo ID, so the question is a bank card enough? And it'll be interesting to find out whether it was or not, and I might just check what would have happened there, because if it is photo ID, it didn't say that. So interested to know what happened there, but maybe I was wrong, bothered. I'll see what happens. A bit upset in the second, the Dunkirk lads are winning. A normal trick if I'm looking at back to horse and it's not winning. I listen to who other people are cheering for and hope it doesn't win. Unfortunately, someone, a little lad, he's back with Dunkirk lads, I suspect because of a name. I have to say I don't think he looks a racing expert, but not bitter at all, am I? And they won, and he's good luck to him. 33-1 of the SP, I think, or 41 I think it was in the end. So yeah, I just made some decent money on that. Seeing the sign I'll put up, the first tote meeting was supposed to be at Newmarket. I'll have to check which Newmarket one was Carlisle Racecourse or Mile. And of course you can see here a bit of a cock up there. And the Carlisle ended up the first tote of the meeting because no one had twigged. It was actually a quarter of an hour earlier that the Carlisle meeting was taking place. There's no race car for sale here. I'm saying I've only seen personally Newcastle and Hampton at the meetings I've been to had race cards. I haven't looked in the eBay. If I do something look too much, I look in eBay for things for sale, horse racing related. And there's definitely Brighton and 1 or 2 other tracks have race cards for sale. Whether they were for public sale, whether it's known or a trainer or something was set, got hold of them, I don't know. Here there is a race car, but I must be only for owners and trainers. I don't see too many with them. I haven't seen them for sale, so it must just be owners and trainers. It's fair enough. I mean, owner and trainer deserve something like that to make up, as you're paying for. It's not a sport you really make money at, and so I have no problem with special facilities and things like that for owners and trainers. A couple places I like to watch racing. I'm probably might watch the third race somewhere else actually. I like watching there's one place where I like watching quite in line with winning posts. There's another one where you can see face on. It's like, you actually like horses like that, you can have, and also the 5 furlong course at Sandown. You can watch it, you can see about some racing face, running towards face on, and some of it's more traditionally at an angle, shall we say. It's hardly rained here at all, I think, and I don't know any going change. It's maybe famous last words because it was supposed to be a thunderstorm thing I mentioned. I went look yesterday, and I thought it would appear on for about now, and then yesterday, today, it looks like different weather. So I don't know where you're going. It's like, I mean, I'm saying I don't like over watering, but it might end up firm ground out wide if it hadn't watered here. I'm not sure what the situation is. It's supposed to rain at some point. It's massively humid, so I wouldn't surprise if it rained later on. And it may have rained a bit before I got here, but certainly it is actually quick ground, so certainly quicker than I thought it would be. Just quickly here, praise Gordon Brown. No, of course, as I said before, not that one, this one. I was just walking past, and a elderly couple, just had a chat. So he's doing the MC Gordon Brown this time around. Some of he's at Racecourse, I think. Normally a Scottish guy, I think he's now called Robert over at Out, often does summer courses and Gordon Brown does other stuff. But he's doing MC work today. This elderly couple came up, asked about how the horse had been withdrawn. I won't say what the horse was or anything, because it's not, gives away who they are, and it's not, and I'm not going to say who they are. And they asked him about this horse being withdrawn. I said yes, he has a few minutes ago, and saying, oh, we connected with the horse, and clearly there were sort of owners, and then apparently the person had been for a while to see the horse run, and clearly I was going around saying, oh, I might be able to do it for the ground. He's really nice of him. He's saying, oh, he's had a chat with them where they come from, and saying where if you own it, you can actually get a meal somewhere. And he's really good, I think, with that. And the only other MC I've met personally is Mike Vincent. He's very good as well. All of them seem to be nice people in my view. They'll be people I never see their names in the race cards. Ever see a race card? Never see MC. See the commentator, everyone else, the Tom Copley and all. But MC, for some reason, they never get. I should do in my view. They never get mentioned in the race card. We're at the station. I'm a bit knackered, even though down there, everything with a bit of weight training yesterday, being too overweight, walking uphill. I took mainly downhill walk. It took a bit longer than I thought, but easy to make the train. It's 1-0 in football. Apparently, I just got to a stage at 1.5 time. From long laugh of talking, I thought it was the final race, so I'll move along because I think I might talk about football. Nick, I move towards the middle-aged guys, and someone says, "Is it still?" To someone else, "Is it still 1-0?" I don't know who's involved, not two. It didn't sound like it was not to us, so it might be Ukraine. You honestly don't know. So when I get back, 11:45 at Metro, should be in just off home and stuff at 12. And I'll find out who's playing who. You have a semi-final between the Czechs, Danes, us, and the Ukraine. There's a good chance I'll find the result anyway. It's Saturday night, train Carlisle to Newcastle. Frankly, there's going to be enough people getting on, maybe drunk enough. I'll probably have headphones on, ground anything out. But I suspect there's a good chance I'll find out whoever's won. But it'll certainly be an England game anyway.